Hi, everybody. My name is Todd, and I'm a program manager here in the School of Continuing Studies, and I look after the digital and content marketing programs. I also manage some other programs in the School of Continuing Studies. I look after an accounting program, public relations, full stack web development, and I say that just to make you aware that I'm not an actual content expert in content or digital marketing. I do not teach any of the courses. So my real role is to manage the program, which means I look after instructors, I look after some of the marketing, the budgets, students. But I really think that my most important job is to make sure you as students have a positive learning experience. So that's really my most important role, is to make sure that if you guys are learning well, you're engaged in the course, and my instructors are doing well, you're happy, then I'm happy. So that's basically my most important role. So the first question I just wanted to get to know is, which program are you interested in? Are you interested in the 3-course part-time digital program, the 3-course part-time content marketing program, or the full-time program, which is 8 courses? So just give people a second to vote. So you can see from the results that a majority of people, half the group, there's over 30 people here, which is amazing, want the full-time program, so I'll certainly talk about that. A number of you want the 3-course digital program, and then there's some of you want the content. So I'll certainly talk about all those things, but just having a sense of your interest is helpful. Okay, the next question. I was wondering if you're a domestic or an international student. Perfect. All right, so you can see that a majority of you are actually domestic students, which is great. So we get a lot of international students, so seeing that there's the largest number of domestic students here today is super. So that's helpful. All right, next question. I was wondering when people were hoping to start their studies. So when are you hoping to start your studies? May, which is the summer term, which is starting next week, September, or January? Okay, so we'll end that. Okay, so not surprising, most people are thinking about the summer term, which is just about to start. I'll share that with you so you can see it. A fair number of you want the fall, and then there's a couple of people, looks like, who want the January term. I'll talk about all those things shortly. And then the last question is, I just wondered if people had any experience working in marketing. Just more of a yes/no question. Okay. So it looks like more people have some experience in marketing than not, which is fine. And just a sort of a side note, but the students in our programs do have a combination of, some of them have some experience, which is great. They get to add that in the classroom. Classrooms are not just the instructors sharing information and you writing it down, but it's really about you sharing your own experiences with your own work experiences, your interactions with the world, which marketing is all around us, obviously, content's all around us. If you don't have any experience, that's fine too, because we know that that's sort of a group that takes our program. So if you don't have any experience, then we'll obviously bring you up to speed. But obviously people who have some experience will have a bit more of an advantage just because they have some more context that they can apply it to. Okay, super. All right, let's go on to the next thing. So I'm going to show you a 30-second video, which is a little commercial. Some of you may have seen it, but let's see if we can get this to work.
Digital marketing jobs have grown by 164% in the GTA.
I'm Cora Brady. I'm the managing director at Bob's Your Uncle. The future is that every marketer needs to understand digital.
Why choose York? Accelerated learning, real-world projects, formats that fit your life. Find out more at contyu.ca/learndigital.
Okay, so that was just a little bit of a video just to show you. There was a 3-minute version, but I thought I could just show the 30-second version. But really just to give you a sense of our program, I'll go into some more detail, but really the programs that we've developed have now been running for a little while. They've been really super successful, which has been amazing. And I think students are getting a lot out of them because hopefully word of mouth is also helping promote the program. But the basic program, there are 3 different options as I sort of had in the poll question. So the first program is a 3-course program in digital marketing. I won't go into any of the details of the courses in terms of the what each one is about. If you have questions, we can certainly talk about that. But there are 3 courses. There's a bit of a fundamentals course. You get into SEO and SEM in the second course. And the third course is around user engagement and marketing automation, like drip campaigns and that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the 3 courses in digital. Then there's the 3 courses in content marketing, if you decide that that's the program you want to do. And that one has, again, a fundamentals course, which is kind of called planning and analysis for content marketing. There's about creating content, and there's about a course in promoting and amplifying your content. So how to get the word out about your content so other people read it and watch it, etc. Okay, so 3 courses in digital is 1 certificate, 3 courses in content marketing is a 2nd certificate. And then students who want to do the full-time program, it really is the 3 courses in digital plus the 3 courses in content plus 2 additional courses, 1 in fundamentals of marketing and 1 course in business in the digital age. So this goes back to the question about, do you have some work experience in marketing? Or I didn't ask the question, but do you have knowledge of coursework maybe you took during your degree studies or something else in marketing? So if you're totally brand new to marketing, you'd probably want to have some basic knowledge of marketing 101 before you jumped into a digital program. You'd want to have some basic knowledge of marketing and digital marketing before you jumped into the content marketing. Because what you want to have is some context to what you're learning in the class and how you apply it to projects and those kinds of things. So if you don't understand what branding is or consumer behavior or, the 4 Ps and those kinds of things, jumping right into a digital marketing program will be a little bit more challenging. It's not impossible, but you'll have to do a bit of catch up. If you're doing the full-time program, that's why we built in these 2 courses, Fundamentals of Marketing and Business in the Digital Age, to give you that background information, because then you're going to be doing the full sort of program, some digital, some content, and those 2 fundamental courses. So that's a bit about how the 3 different programs and the courses that you'll take in those programs. So then we get to the format of the program. So if you're doing the 2 short-term certificates in digital or content marketing, this is not the full-time, this is just the blended part-time version. Those are considered blended. And the way they work is there's 7 weeks online, and then they typically would have a Saturday, Sunday meet-in-person, face-to-face component. Because of COVID-19, we're not allowed to meet in person, as you know. We're going to be moving those face-to-face components to online. So they'll still be online, but they will be at a set time and they'll be live. So you'll be interacting with your instructor. We use Zoom as a platform, so you'll be interacting with your instructor, with other classmates. We'll have breakout rooms if you have small discussions. We'll be creating some new sort of practice opportunities for you and some new ways for you to learn the content. But that face-to-face component will still be on a set time and day. It'll just be done now online because of COVID-19. For those programs, there is no application, so you literally just go onto the website and you apply. They're 8 months. You take 1 course at a time. So again, usually people doing our programs that are the part-time ones are probably the ones who are currently working in balance in life and work and family and those kinds of things. So we only have 1 course at a time, which allows you the flexibility to complete all those things successfully. All of our programs are cohort-based, and this is true for the full-time as well. And what that means is the same students who take course 1 are the same students who take course 2 and course 3. And if it's the full-time, it's course 5, 6, and 7, and 8. And that really gives you an opportunity to meet other students, to build a network, to have study groups. And it really is a model that seems to work well for creating a nice community, because obviously that's important when you're learning. And if it's new to you, especially if you're not familiar with content or digital, whatever, it's nice to have a support group that you can connect with. All the courses have graded assignments and projects, and our instructors are practitioners. They're not full-time faculty on campus, so they are very connected to the industry. They're all working in industry. They understand the latest trends and those kinds of things. So yes, it's a bit of theory, but it's very practical and hands-on and connects to sort of real life where possible, okay? So if you were doing the 3-course blended schedule, this is what it would look like. In week 2, as an example, you'd meet on the Saturday and Sunday, but you wouldn't be doing it at York. You'd be doing it online through Zoom, okay? We're calling it live online, okay? And then there's a break, and then you start your 2nd course. Not every single course has the face-to-face, so that sort of live component in week 2. This is just an example because the first one does. If you're interested in doing the full-time program, that one's slightly different. So again, because of COVID, we don't know what that next offering is in the fall. We don't know what the fall is going to look like with COVID, obviously. Can we meet face-to-face? Are we not allowed to meet face-to-face? We're assuming it's going to start online. Hopefully we can sort of move that to sort of face-to-face once we're allowed by government agencies, etc. So in this format, we'll talk about it being either live, in-person, face-to-face, or live Zoom, but it's still going to be the same in terms of the schedule. So you're still going to meet at the same time each day. There'll be a 3-hour sort of Zoom session, just like you would have a 3-hour class on Monday. The same class will happen on Wednesday. Tuesday, Thursday, you're taking a different class, but it's the same sort of format of the live online. This one is full-time, so you're doing 2 courses at the same time, where the other part-time programs are just a single course. They do last for 6 weeks. There are 12 sessions in total. And this program does have an application. So the application requires either a college diploma and a degree. There is a statement of interest, so I look at that carefully to make sure there's a good link and a good match with the program. So someone that says, hey, I'm an engineer, and hey, I like jobs in marketing. There's some jobs out there that I think I want to move in that field. May not be as strong as someone who says, hey, I've been studying marketing in a degree program. I'm working in a marketing role now. That's really super important to me. And there is an IELTS requirement, where for the part-time programs, there's no application, there's no IELTS requirement. So hopefully that all makes sense. We can get into that in the discussions if you have specific questions. But hopefully, and I should just say at the moment, if you think about the full-time program, again, we're not really sure what this will all look like in the fall and September because of COVID-19, but the government has really relaxed the work permit requirements. And at the moment, they're saying you only need to do 50% of your study face-to-face to be eligible for the work permit. So if you're studying online for the first half of the program, that will have no impact on your work permit when the program is over. So just want to be clear about that. I'm not a visa expert, but that's the message we're getting from government. I should also just say, going back to the 3-course program, for May, the program is sold out. So I don't know if I know people did say they're hoping to start in May, but that program is sold out for May. We've actually even exceeded our numbers, and we added a teaching assistant to help the instructor with that. So the next offering now is in September. So if that's what you're hoping for or thinking about, you'll have to now apply for September. Okay, for the full-time program, I have September received a lot of applications. I'm going through them. We're still trying to figure out how many we can accept into the program, because if they've got some social distancing requirements where you can't have 60 people in a 60-seat classroom, we may have to have smaller classrooms. So we're still trying to figure all those things out, but I have accepted a fair number of students, but I do have some space left, and I am trying to have a diverse classroom. So to be fair and honest, I am looking for some domestic students. So if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, please apply ASAP, because I want to make sure it's a good experience for everyone to have a nice diverse student body, which I think just helps the learning experience for everybody. So I was going to jump to the website for a quick sec. So I think everyone's looking at my screen. So this is just our website. If you haven't been there yet, I assume you have. But if you click on certificates and you go to the digital and content marketing, there's another sort of drop down window. And let's say you click on certificate in digital marketing, okay? And they're all the same, which I just chose that one. So here you can look at, there's a program overview. There's the full video. If you wanted to watch the 3-minute video, you can see the whole video. There's some of the stats that you may have seen in the 30-second video I showed earlier. Why choose York? And some other things about the program, some policies. I'm just zipping through this now, but you can see the instructors and all sorts of good information, okay? If you scroll up to the top, back to the top, and you click on the enroll button, you'll now see that the only option is fall. And because this is the 3-course blended version, there is no application. So you literally just hit the register button and you move forward. If you're doing the full-time program, let me go to that for a quick sec, because I think this is important. If you're thinking of doing the full-time program, it is obviously more costly because there's more courses and things like that. There is a different fee if you're international or you're domestic. And we do have potentially, if you've got some financial, because it's more expensive, if you've got questions about payments and things like that, especially because of COVID-19, just reach out to our registration team and they can best answer those kinds of questions. So that's really what I wanted to share with you all today, just to give you a quick little snapshot into the program, what that looks like, how it might work with COVID in the fall. And I'll leave this slide up here for a second while I go to the questions, and you can sort of see who are, oh, I didn't update that, but Carmel is actually not a registration coordinator, so I apologize. That slide's a few months old. But anyway, the email is correct, and you can reach out to the registration team if you have questions about an application or about the program. You can reach out to Elsbeth, and she can answer all your questions. So let me just pull up all the questions, and I can start to answer them. Oh God, a lot of questions already. Fantastic. All right, let me just delete some of these earlier ones if you all can hear me. Parvane, I see a question asking the differences between the content marketing and digital certificates. What are the benefits of each? So I'm not sure if I answered that in the presentation, but basically the digital program is much more focused on digital marketing, social media, search engine optimization, Google AdWords, and that kind of stuff. The content marketing is really more about writing content, building content, how to amplify it, how to promote it. So it's more about the content that you build, that you use digital marketing in many cases to get the word out. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, let me know. Okay. Parvane is asking about co-ops. So are there any work placements or co-ops? At this point, there are not, no. So if you wanted to do that, I do get job postings a lot. Sometimes they're volunteer opportunities. I do always just forward them to students and saying, hey, John Smith is looking for a digital marketer to help with the company. You then have to follow up with that person and figure out if it's the right fit for you and for them and do whatever interviews they might have. So anyway, you'd have to sort of do that yourself. But when any of those things come across my desk, I always share them straight away. So Monica is saying that she's currently a full-time student. She's an international student. So how is that going to go? So I think I answered that question, but it's going to start online. We assume we have got no direction if maybe things change and maybe they find, some vaccine and we can all go back to living the way we used to and going to work and meeting in groups and those kinds of things. But at the moment, it's looking like we'll start it online, but we won't offer more than 50% online because we know that you're going to want to then apply for your work permit. So we'll have to sort of either pause the program or figure out some other way to offer it so that you can get that 50% face-to-face to apply for your work permit. Maybe the government changes and says you can do 75% of the program online, and we'll follow those guidelines. If the program is online and it moves then to face-to-face, we'd have to pause because students will have to then be able to travel from wherever their home country is. There may be some quarantine period for a short while if new people arrive to Canada. So we'll take all those things into consideration and we'll make sure that you are successful no matter what. So that's the goal. And we'll be accommodating however we need to make sure that you can complete the program to then apply for the work permit if that's the goal. Stephanie's asking, how does the certificate program differ from a master's of marketing? Tough question to answer because I don't really know which particular program you're referring to. A master's of marketing may be more broad where it has more foundational marketing strategy. Our programs are definitely much more focused just on digital or just on content. So without knowing more about the program you're looking at, but I'd also just sort of comment, a master's program is definitely at a higher level. So these are certificate programs. The courses are sort of foundational. A master's program is going to, probably do a bit of a deeper dive, maybe be more strategic in a sense. There's probably more courses in that kind of a program. And definitely a master's is much higher than a certificate as a credential. So in terms of job opportunities, if someone sees a certificate and a master's, I would imagine the master's will be more sort of appealing. But, again, I don't know what those companies are looking for. So it may also depend on your work experience. So that's how I would sort of answer that question. Hopefully I answered, Stephanie, that what you're looking for. Akash is asking a good question. Can a student just enroll in one course rather than the entire certificate? And the answer to that is unfortunately not. The programs are sold as cohorts. It's one purchase to buy all 3 courses or all 8 courses. So yeah, you can't just take one-off courses with any of our programs. They're all the same. Jamarb is asking, what are the chances of employment after successfully finishing the course? Yeah, that's also just a hard question. We really haven't had too much feedback from students because we don't collect it and do like a survey of employment. And a lot of times students already have jobs, so it's hard to sort of say. And sometimes it's also based on what other experiences you have and what other education you have and those kinds of things. So there are certainly students who are getting jobs. I know that for sure. To give you a percentage, kind of hard to do that just because it wouldn't be fair for me to say 100%, 90%, 10%. Like, I just really don't know the answer, but it also just depends on other things. One thing I would suggest, Jamarb, is go onto job boards and look for the different requirements for the kind of job you want to get. So let's say it's a digital marketing specialist. What are they asking for? Does it ask for a degree? Does it ask for 2 to 3 years of work experience? Does it ask for a certificate or a diploma or a master's in marketing? So look at those kinds of things and then think about your own experiences and your own credentials and see how you fit. I think that's a better indicator than just saying, will you get a job after our program? So Monica's asking a question which I don't know if I fully understand. It says, so no visa for full-time course applicants, international students. That's right. You don't need a visa to start the program online, but obviously you'll need a program, you'll need a visa to come to Canada. So best to get that visa now if you've applied and been accepted and have it in your back pocket in a sense, just because who knows, if you don't get it and you start the program, you'd have to start the program, I think, with a visa, because we want to ensure that you can come to Canada and participate in the second half of the program. But technically, you don't need it to do the online component. Okay, so Zoe Lee is asking if I can give more details on what the online component looks like. Yeah, I didn't maybe explain that very well earlier. So basically, the online component is, we basically pre-build all the courses. So there's lots of articles, videos. The instructors sometimes have live sessions on like a Tuesday night for Q&A, like office hours. The instructors have built some content because there's no textbooks in the course. So they've written some content. They've provided some like tip sheets and tools and stuff. They'll sort of show you, as an example, how to use Google AdWords and go into and show you what that stuff looks like so you can kind of get a sense of how to do it yourself. There's practice activities, so you'll be given projects, and there's individual projects, there's group projects. So that's sort of how all the learning happens. And your instructor obviously is always available to interact with, to ask questions. Their students interact with and ask questions. So yeah, all the materials is sort of provided through a platform called Moodle. I'm not sure if you know Moodle, like noodle, but with an M, Moodle. And there's discussion boards, so you're participating, you're watching a video, you're sharing your opinion, you're sort of delving into the topic a bit more that way. Your instructor's asking probing questions. So yeah, that's kind of how the course is designed. So hopefully, Zoe Lee, that answered your question. Is the part-time digital marketing certificate 7 weeks or longer? Yeah, it's basically 7 weeks long for each course. So or 8 weeks. I'm getting confused. Sorry, now you got me confused. But yeah, 7 or 8 weeks for each course. I think it's 8 weeks, and then there's a week break, and then another 8 weeks, and then break, and then another 8 weeks. So each one 8 weeks. So approximately 2 months, correct. Monica's asking about the fees. So no, the fees do not change. So if you start the program on the full-time program online, the fees are at this point are not being reduced. That's the fee for the program, and we're not sort of modifying it because it's starting online versus off face-to-face, which is the original format it was supposed to be in. So yeah, unfortunately, that's not happening. Oh, I should just say though, there are some bursaries and things that we've put out there. There's some emergency funding and things like that. So go to our website, and there's actually a funding link in the top of the toolbar, and there's some funding opportunities there that you can certainly apply for as existing students or new students. So I would certainly look into that if that's something that's important to you. Well, Monica's asking a good question about people who are artistic and being young entrepreneurs. We actually get a fair number of students who actually are not looking to become a marketing specialist or anything like that, but that they have their own business and they're trying, like they're photographers or whatever their business might be, and they're trying to find ways to better promote themselves. So yeah, that actually is a fair number of students will have that background. So if that's how it fits with you, then yeah, you'll certainly find people who are similar. Okay, I'll say goodbye to everyone. Yep, be safe as well, and stay healthy, everybody. We'll get past this. It's not been easy, I'm sure, for some, but you know, we're confident that the program will continue. We'll still engage people. You'll learn the content, and if you're gonna do the full-time program, we'll figure out how it works for you to make sure that you have a successful learning experience. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Stay healthy. Bye.